touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kusa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking straight, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me?
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Daily Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Also, don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed, especially if you have not been receiving those notifications. Okay? All right, so hello, G from the land. Mel is in the virtual building. Timothy is here. All right, Truth Montage. All right, let's get into it. Perplex, 504 Nola. Queen Huey is here. Laverne. All right, Hadassah. We the people. Okay, shout out to all of my loyal royals, everyone tuned into the Queen. And a big shout out to my moderators, because y'all know they say putting in work. I see you, Leon Desmond. Okay, and so let's get into it. With that all being said, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil as well. Okay, so let's get into it because the ish has hit the fan. Okay, all they're talking about right now is Pete Hegseth and him calling for the survivors to be killed. And they're saying that the White House basically came out and admitted to these war crimes. Okay? So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. So leveling a second strike on the survivors of an initial attack on an alleged rug boat would have been a crime, according to legal experts. Now, it doesn't matter whether the U.S. is in armed conflict with rug cartels, as the Trump administration wants to assert, as such a fatal attack would have violated peacetime laws and those governing armed conflict, according to the experts. Okay, it also goes against, it's in violation of the Geneva Convention. Please pay attention. Okay, so they say, I can't imagine anyone, no matter what the circumstances, believing it to be appropriate to kill people who are clinging to a boat in the water. This is what Michael Schmitz, a former Air Force lawyer and professor, okay, at the U.S. Naval War College said, saying that it's clearly unlawful. So the White House confirmed Monday that a second strike was conducted in September against a vessel accused of trafficking rugs off the coast of Venezuela and insisted it was done in self-defense and in accordance with the laws of armed conflict. So, a news report about the attack spawned a new level of scrutiny from lawmakers and added to a growing debate about whether service members can refuse to follow illegal orders, which some Democratic lawmakers recently encouraged. Okay, so now, the Washington Post reported last week that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth issued a spoken directive to kill everybody on the boat, okay, that was targeted September the 2nd. Now, the first vessel hit in what the Trump administration calls a counter rug campaign that has grown to over 20 known strikes and more than 80 people dead. Now, 2 men survived the first attack and were clinging to the wreckage, okay, according to the newspaper reports. And the commander in charge of the operation, Admiral Frank M. Mitch Bradley, ordered a second strike to comply with Hegseth's instructions, killing the 2 men, and so 11 in total, according to the report. Now, Hegseth called it fake news on social media, saying the strikes on the boats are in compliance with the law of armed conflict and approved by the best military and civilian lawyers up and down the chain of command. President Donald Trump said Sunday the administration will look into it, but added that I wouldn't have wanted that, okay, not a second strike. He noted that Hegseth told him that he did not order the death of those 2 men. White House spokesperson or spokeswoman Carolyn Levitt told reporters that Bradley had ordered the second strike and was well within his authority to do so. She denied that Hegseth said to give said there were to leave no survivors. So they want to put it on Bradley. See, didn't I tell you all this was going to happen? Didn't I tell you all there was going to be a whole lot of finger pointing? Okay, I told you all. Okay, nobody wants to be held accountable for this. I'm pretty sure it was Pete Hegseth. Okay, he's the one in charge of everything. He's the Secretary of the Department of War. Okay. All right, so I absolutely believe that he gave the call. Now he wants to blame it on somebody else. Yeah, this is no surprise. And see, this is why the people that are doing what they're saying, these people that are blindly following every order that Trump and Hegseth give, that's crazy because they're the ones that are going to be in big trouble when it all hits the fan. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let me go to this video of Caroline Levitt. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And let me tell you all something too. First off, there was a picture of Trump taken while he was eating lunch. Whew. I'll show it to you all in a minute, but Trump looks a whole hot mess. And the fact that he had the nerve to sit there and want to try to talk about Biden, yeah, I find it also interesting. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go.
And the Trump administration, we got some breaking news here. Caroline Levitt and the Trump administration admitted today that the United States of America most definitely committed war crimes. Roll that clip.
Statement to read for you here. President Trump and Secretary Hegseth have made it clear that presidentially designated narco-terrorist groups are subject to lethal targeting in accordance with the laws of war. With respect to the strikes in question on September 2nd, Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes. Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law, directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed and the threat to the United States of America.
It's they just admitted it, right? You saw it. I know I saw it. And there was a follow-up question about how legal that was. Check it out.
Jack, Caroline, following from Gabe's question, you said that the follow-up strike was lawful. What law is it that allows no survivors? The strike conducted on September 2nd was conducted in self-defense to protect Americans in vital United States interests. The strike was conducted in international waters and in accordance with the law of armed conflict.
Like the younger generation now likes to say, they're cooked. they're cooked. They are absolutely fucking cooked. Donald Trump is doubling down on it and saying, yep, we did it. What are you going to do about it? Straight up. And the real question is, what is Congress going to do about it? If we know that we double tap folks out there and those waters outside of Venezuela, what are we going to do about it? This is impeachment and removal as it gets right now, guys. The president of the United States openly admitting, using his people right there, that they did war crimes.
Yeah, that's right. Wake up. This is all very concerning. Okay. And at the end of the day, here's the thing. I know some people have said they're not concerned because this is all happening to immigrants. But if you have an ounce of human decency and humanity, you should not wish this on anyone. Okay. Blown to smithereens while you're out there just trying to basically earn a living. Because that's all these people were doing. Those were fishermen. They were not smugglers. And if they were, I want to see the receipts. But we haven't seen any receipts, and I don't think that we will. Okay. I don't think that we will. Now, this lady says everyone around Trump is mentally collapsing. Okay, I absolutely have to agree. They're all crazy at this point. Okay, clearly the patients have taken over the asylum. Please pay attention.
Watching what's going on. The whole toxic narcissism is playing out at your expense and my expense. It's horrifying and funny at the same time. So Trump, being the toxic narcissist, surrounds himself by kiss-ass people who must have his adoration, must have his attention. And it becomes an addiction where Donald Trump, as a narcissist, controls their very emotions, ups and downs. The ups are when Donald Trump notices them and says, "Great job, little guy. Great job, little girl. You have my approval," followed by the lows. He hasn't talked to me. He's ignoring me. He tweeted about me. He said something bad about me and it got back to me. They're fucking addicted to this man. That's how narcissism works. And it always goes south. And it's going south for Pete Hegseth, and it's going south for Kash Patel. So let's start with Pete Hegseth. His ordering, making that order kill them all, his saying the shit he's saying and doing what he's doing is because he wants daddy's approval. The orange god is his daddy. And every time it gets back to Pete that Trump's not happy with him, he falls apart. He's literally mentally unstable. People in these toxic relationships often are. He freaks out. And then what does he do? He takes it out on other people, innocent people. He takes it out on others, hoping to get Big Orange Daddy's approval. And Kash Patel is no different. He's literally collapsing mentally because everybody is whispering to Kash Patel, "Daddy Orange Man is not happy with you. He's not happy with what you're doing here. He's not happy with what you're doing there." And now the man is being reported to like have his head down on the desk. He's freaking out. He's paranoid. He's not leading anybody. So there's bad morale in the FBI. He's like falling apart. They're not the only two that this is happening to. And we all have to pay the price when these clowns, these mentally ill people in his administration fall apart because the narcissist is doing the narcissist thing. Only 3 more years of it. These guys will fall apart and be out and replaced with the next thing. And then the whole freaking washing, drying cycle is going to begin all over.
Facts. Okay, I absolutely believe it. Yes, they're all running scared. Okay, Lindsay Halligan, Pam Bondi, Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel. And here's the thing: Pete Hegseth's out of the country, honey. Okay, he went to the Caribbean with the soldiers. Okay, he went on a ship and he and his wife fed the soldiers for Thanksgiving. And I find that very interesting. Now, that was a very kind thought, but I just wonder if Pete Hegseth and his wife are feeding those soldiers so nobody snitches. I said nobody comes out and testifies to the fact that he, in fact, did. Absolutely. Now, I'm not saying he absolutely did, but I'm just saying, wouldn't it be something if they did, if somebody came out and said he absolutely, unequivocally, beyond a shadow of a doubt, gave the orders to take out the survivors? Because I think he really did. Okay. Now he's out there, he was on the boat on the ship with the soldiers, feeding them Thanksgiving dinner and trying to get in good, if you ask me. Okay, hoping that nobody snitches. Okay, that's what I think, because you know what the penalty is. Okay, if convicted of a war crime that includes premeditated murder, okay, red rum, well, the punishment under UCMJ Article 111, or I'm sorry, 118, for premeditated murder, which is a planned or intentional killing, which this was premeditated, because if they gave the order, that was all planned. Okay. So the punishment for that, the maximum punishment, of course, is the death penalty. Is the death penalty. And this is all interesting because Trump was sitting there talking about, giving the death penalty to the Democrats who made the video encouraging soldiers not to adhere to illegal laws. Okay, unethical. I'm not laws, illegal laws, oxymoron, illegal orders. Okay. So with that all being said, the death penalty or life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, dishonorable discharge, total forfeiture of all pay and allowances, okay, losing all of their benefits, reduction to E1, okay, so losing your rank as well. Now, if it's unpremeditated murder, which means the killing was not planned, it's still very serious, however. The maximum punishment is life imprisonment, dishonorable discharge, forfeiture of all pay and allowances, and reduction to E1. If the murder occurs during an armed conflict, which is what they're trying to say, unlawful killing of detainees, civilians, surrendering enemies, okay, they could also be charged under Article 134, Law of War Violations. And in that case, the act becomes both a UCMJ murder and a war crime, which can then add additional war crime sentencing enhancements. Okay, command responsibility changes or charges, command responsibility charges if orders were involved. Woo, Pete Hegseth. We know orders were involved because somebody told them to do it. Somebody, in fact, gave the order, whether it's Hegseth or not. Possibly or possibility of federal or international prosecution and no statute of limitations. So you can run, but you can't hide, except you might as well get on back to the U.S. if you haven't gotten back by now. Okay, going to the Caribbean is not going to help you, buddy. All right. Now, if a commander, such as, let's say the Secretary of War, ordered the killing under Articles 77 through 79 and 92, a commander or high-ranking official who ordered the killing knew about it or even failed to stop it. So he didn't even have to give the order. But if he knew about it and failed to stop it, because we know he did one of the three. Okay, he probably did all three, if I'm just being honest. But he at least did one of them. They can be charged with the same level of murder as the person who pulled the trigger. Okay, so he can try to blame it on the other guy for all he wants. Issuing an illegal order to kill detainees or unarmed survivors, please pay attention, is treated as murder. And those people were in fact unarmed. They were clinging onto wreckage after their boat had been blown to pieces. Okay, so for Carolyn Levitt to sit there and lie through her teeth, okay, talking about it was self-defense. How was it self-defense? Nobody from the U.S. or for Trump's administration, nobody that was out there giving these airstrikes was in any imminent danger at any time, period. Okay, when this all went down. So, that all being said, in war, killing enemy forces is lawful combat. In lawful combat is not murder, but they weren't enemy forces. Okay, it becomes murder when someone intentionally kills prisoners or detainees, civilians, which those people were, wounded or surrendering enemies. They were wounded. Okay, anyone who is hors de combat. Okay, and I told you all about that terminology the other day because that means that they're incapacitated. If someone's hors de combat, that means they've been injured and they're not capable of fighting. Okay, and that's exactly what was going on there. So it's going down, honey. I hate to say it, but Pete Hegseth, Trump, and the administration and whoever carried out the orders that Hegseth allegedly gave, honey, like Sweet Daddy Williams used to tell JJ on Good Times, you in trouble. Okay, in trouble. All right, wounded or surrendering enemies, anyone who is hors de combat, incapacitated, friendly forces, non-combatants, medics, chaplains. Okay, those killings are illegal under UCMJ Article 118, murder, Geneva Conventions, Article 134, violations of the law of war. Okay, and this is why these cases are treated so very seriously. So, punishment for the individual who commits the killing, death penalty or life in prison, the same things I already told you about. So we get it. At the end of the day, this is all nefarious, okay? Oh, this is all bad, beloveds. Okay, so Metro Man says Black Jesus as a veteran and family of veterans of 40 years. When we saw this, we said this weeks ago. Thanksgiving wasn't the same, and I had to log off Facebook a month ago. Told him I took a oath and it was for life. Okay. Yes, we already knew what was going down. Thank you for your insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, now FBA Justice says Hegseth is a complete war criminal. He has a cell block full of Venezuelans waiting for him. Exactly, and I can't wait until he gets put in there, okay? They need to give him the death penalty as far as I'm concerned, because just think about how low down and nefarious and what kind of mindset or what an inhumane person you have to be to know that people are clinging to life, clinging to hope, holding on to wreckage. They could have been missing limbs or anything. Like I told you all the other day, loss of blood. You don't know what kind of injuries they sustained in the first airstrike. But then to have them taken out, that is so evil and nefarious. Who could do that with a heart? Okay, who with a heart could do that? And these were not enemy combatants. These were not people shooting back at them. These were not people that have, come to war against the United States. Just so sad. At the end of the day, it absolutely is. Okay, so anyway, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. So another thing I find interesting is the fact that, now that this has all come to the surface, these military personnel, well, some of these military officials are departing. They're leaving. Okay? They're out of here. They're putting in notices. They're quitting early. Why? Why would they be quitting all of a sudden? I want y'all to pay attention because they already know what time it is, okay? They know what's about to go down, honey, and it's not good.
All these top military officials announced plans to leave their jobs early in recent weeks. I'm specifically referring to the commander of Southcom, Admiral Alvin Halsey, who announced in October that he was only going to be serving in that job for 1 year. And three-star General Joe McGee, who serves on the Joint Chiefs of Staff as Director for Strategy Plans and Policy. He also in October announced that he was going to be shown the door. And the reason I'm asking is because we just learned from the reporting of CNN's Natasha Bertrand and also the Washington Post and The Intercept that as part of this campaign to strike alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean, on September 2nd, the U.S. struck one of these boats, disabled it, people died, but then there were survivors, and the U.S. went back and did what's called a double tap strike, going back and killing the survivors, including those, according to the Washington Post, who were clinging to the smoldering wreck. And the Post reports, according to two sources familiar with the operation, that Hegseth had given the order to kill everybody, which is why the double tap. Now, the Pentagon disputes this reporting, saying that the entire narrative is completely false, but they haven't offered any specifics about what's false. Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, said the stories are fabricated, inflammatory, and derogatory. Again, wouldn't go into detail about what was allegedly fabricated. But the reason I'm asking is because given Halsey and McGee and their early exits, I'm wondering what role, if any, this September strike, which seems to be of questionable legality, played in their early departures. Only a few weeks later, I reached out to the Pentagon and the White House to ask them specifically about this, but the Pentagon did not get back to me and the White House was not responsive. When McGee left, CNN reported that one of the issues of friction between him and Hegseth had to do with operations, including those in the Caribbean. And specifically, when Halsey left, CNN's Pentagon reporters noted that, quote, tensions had been simmering between Hegseth and Halsey for weeks before the admiral announced he was leaving. and that Southcom was concerned about the operations in the Caribbean, quote, not being lawful, sources said. Now, obviously, Hegseth disputes the idea that these aren't.
Honey, we know he's lying at this point, talking about they're lawful. Okay, no, they're not. If they were lawful, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Okay, please pay attention. But let's go to this next video because they're talking about Pete Hegseth. I mean, not Pete Hegseth, Hakeem Jeffries and that audit that was done and how he just withheld information that he clearly could have given publicly, okay, some time ago.
Knew that Donald Trump lost in 2024. And he suppressed that information because it was more advantageous to him to have 4 years of Trump, to really build up his presence. The Democratic establishment's core message being anti-Trump, not anti-corporate greed, not anti-billionaire hoarding, anti-Trump. And if the election had gone the way that it was originally supposed to go, true, we probably wouldn't be seeing all of the systems around us completely deteriorating and collapsing in on themselves. And I guess that is one of the upsides of it going this way. But make no mistake, this is not how it was naturally supposed to go. Hakeem Jeffries made a choice that put us here. And when Kamala came out of hiding and was doing her press tour for her book, and she said that the thing that surprised her the most was the capitulation. Sure, she could have been talking about the media, corporations, law enforcement, etc. But she very well could have been talking about her very own Democrats as well. There's a lot more to say about this, and much of it I have said before. But if you want to know more about this,
okay, I really need to read Kamala's book to those of you who have memberships. Okay, I think I'm gonna do that sometime soon. Okay. So now they're starting BS about that ID that they want everybody to have. They're gonna start fining people. Pay attention.
And now they're coming after our ability to travel freely, specifically people without means to travel freely. By the way, we told you this would happen. This is right from DHS website announced today. A $45 fee will be imposed starting February 1st for anyone traveling without a real ID or a passport. This is supposed to pay for your vetting, pay for the services of government employees to vet that you are who you say you are. And I know you're going to be in the comments going, what's a real ID? Why do I need a passport? Okay, the real ID was put into place after September 11th to standardize the information on driver's licenses that are used really to fly domestically. You want to tell me this isn't a way to limit and restrict travel further? And it's only for a 10-day period, by the way. So if you have a trip that's 2 weeks, you're going to have to pay $90 to get vetted twice if you don't have a real ID or one of these acceptable forms of identification, which take a screenshot. They're not going to come out and say they're looking to restrict travel, but they are going to try and chip away at it and make it more difficult, particularly for people without means or limited incomes who may not be able to afford to renew their driver's license ahead of time and upgrade to a real ID or afford to get a passport or a passport card. These things cost money.
Okay, so that's what they have on the agenda, beloveds. We already knew about it, so I'm not shocked. At the end of the day, listen, they want to know everything about us. They want to have all access, okay? This is why they want to take away paper money and move over to a cashless society. Okay, this is why, they only give you so much room on your computers and your cell phones because they want you to have to send stuff to the clouds, because when you send it to the clouds, they have access to it. Okay, did y'all not know that? Of course you did, but you just don't really think about it or just take it for granted. Honey, they're going all through our stuff. I guarantee you.
Senator, I have to ask, he is clearly very concerned about Central and South American presidents allegedly trafficking drugs to the United States. So if that's the case, why is he planning to pardon the former Honduran president who was convicted by an American jury of drug trafficking, who allegedly said, this is according to testimony from his trial, he would, quote, shove the drugs right up the noses of the gringos by flooding the United States with cocaine?
Well, the particular circumstances that I'm not quite aware of. However, I do know we're trying to build relationships with Honduras. We're trying to build relationships throughout South America and Central America because China has greatly influenced those countries in a negative way. And it's not alleged that South and Central America and Mexico is flooding our streets with drugs. We know that's where they're coming from. And so I think by building new relationships, by allowing people to have a new beginning, he's showing good faith, saying, hey, we're going to work with you as long as you work with us. The minute you want to come punch us in the face, you want to continue to send your illegal drugs to us, we're going to be very proactive against you, which this is what peace through strength looks like.
Okay, he couldn't explain that. He couldn't make it make sense because that's exactly what I told you all days ago. Remember, you heard it here first. I said if Trump is so upset and so concerned about illegal substances being smuggled into the country on those boats from Venezuela, then why is he pardoning Hernandez, Juan Orlando Hernandez, okay, the former president of Honduras, who absolutely was convicted and sentenced to 45 years for doing exactly what Trump is claiming that Maduro is doing? That makes no sense. And for him to sit there and say they're trying to build ties, closer ties with them at the end of the day. So at what cost? Okay, at what cost? So you're just going to forget about all the illegal substances this man flooded the streets of the U.S. with? Well, apparently so. Okay, apparently so. So anyway, let's talk about this man who was found hung. Okay, this black man was found hung. Torrance Tory Medley. NAACP demands answers after black man found hanging near Wisconsin golf course. The NAACP is calling for answers. Okay, his body was discovered in close proximity to a Wisconsin golf course, sparking questions about the nature of his death. Now, the family of 39-year-old Torrance Tory Medley is demanding transparency after Medley was found dead near Wisconsin's Brookfield Hills golf course earlier this month. Now, although police have already ruled his death as self-deletion, okay, according to the Freeman reports, that his family and the NAACP say the conclusion was issued without basic investigative communication. That's because they didn't investigate. They never do. That's just my opinion. Now, on Friday, representatives from both the Waukesha and Milwaukee NAACP branches stood alongside the family's attorney during a press conference near the golf course. The organizations are they're calling for access to surveillance footage, a meeting with investigators, okay, injury details, and a full independent review. Now, the Freeman reports that family attorney William Sultan said the Medley family has been mistreated by the Waukesha County Medical Examiner's Office and the City of Brookfield Police Department. Sultan told the outlet that regardless of what the ultimate conclusion is here, the family deserves to know what actually happened. Why are they being so upset and annoyed and being nasty and rude? Because they don't want the truth to come out? That's my guess. So in the outlet, Sultan told police said police prematurely concluded that it was self-deletion before forensic specialists completed their work. They said, we do believe that the police department rushed to judgment here simply to declare a conclusion that they observed. Okay, death investigations are done by forensic pathologists, not by police officers, Sultan says. The Freeman also notes and states that Sultan notes the family has no reason to believe that Medley would take his own life or travel to the Brookfield Hills golf course. And he said the family has been denied routine investigative courtesies that are standard, okay, in other cases. So anyway, this is all just so sad.
So police believe
I'm going to share my screen. Measurement says, my Cash Patel, if you know, get somebody else to do it. he out he's out by January the 1st. Let's hope he is. Okay, that would be great. Thank you for your insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings.
Died by suicide.
Right, Blake. While their investigation remains open, right now Brookfield police say the evidence points to suicide. Meanwhile, Medley's family says they're without closure, and they're calling on police to conduct a thorough investigation. Last week, early Thursday morning,
callers thought they saw someone deceased. They're advising it's on the golf course.
a death investigation unfolding on the Brookfield Hills golf course. Police blocking off surrounding roads for hours.
When I called and they told me what happened, I just was in a state of disbelief.
Sheena Medley speaking with 12 News from Hawaii on Zoom. Her brother, Tori, the man found dead on the golf course. Brookfield police saying he was found with a strap around his neck, the other end attached to a tree branch.
Does he have any connection to that golf course that you know about?
No, not that we know of. He was living in Milwaukee.
Okay.
He was living down off of St. Paul. So he didn't have a vehicle. And so the question is, how did he get out there? When did he get out there? Why did he go out there?
Police saying that day they believed the death to be a suicide. More than a week later, with a completed autopsy, Brookfield police say that's still the case. Their investigation remaining open.
If it was suicide, we'll accept that. But if it was something else, we'll accept that too. We just need to know that all I's have been dotted, T's have been crossed, and it's been fully reviewed and investigated, which is only fair.
Sheena asking anyone with information or possible surveillance video to come forward.
And I just wanted people to know that he had a name.
Yeah.
He was a really good person, a good man, and he had a family that loved him incredibly.
You can certainly understand the family's push for answers. Kendall, Brookfield police tell you they do have some surveillance video.
Right, Blake, they're in the process of reviewing that surveillance video and say they're still working to figure out what exactly it captured. They say they're still actively investigating his death.
The footage is probably going to look all grainy, even though in 2025, I have questions as to why they would still have grainy footage. Okay. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about these 14-year-old girls who were abducted after they were talking to some guy who they agreed that he could come and pick them up. And then they were trafficked. Okay, likes up, everyone. Please like and share. I meant to tell you all this story a couple of days ago.
Of the 7 men charged in this sex trafficking case, 3 of them in their mid-30s. Raheem Jones is 50. In their arrest warrants, the victims and family members detail the horrific weekend in May and the miraculous rescue by 2 of the girls as aunts. Police claim the 14-year-old girls agreed to meet up with one of the men, were picked up by 3, and brought to this home on Ridgefield Street in Hartford. It was in here police say the girls were raped by some of the men in the apartment. One girl claiming they were sexually assaulted by 4 to 5 adult males, adding the guys had them smoke marijuana and drink Don Julio tequila. After feeling intoxicated, it was a free-for-all. The next day, the girls were taken to 3 other Hartford locations, including the Super 8 Hotel, where they were sexually assaulted again, according to police. Before they knew it, the girls were allegedly being sex trafficked. These are 6 of the 7 men charged in this sex trafficking case, 3 of them in the with one man telling the girls they'd get them flip phones, take them to spots, and they had to say they were 20. And if Ahmad Compton had 5 fingers up, that meant they had to spend 5 minutes with a guy. While all this is happening, police say 2 of the girls' aunts were searching for them, eventually helped by a neighbor who saw the girls go into an apartment on Nelton Way. The aunts, according to police, knocked on the apartment door and then forced their way in to rescue the girls after neighbors were adamant the teens were in there. Police were called, and after investigating for months, the group was charged.
That's just a darn shame. Okay, absolutely nefarious. At the end of the day, it's so sad. Thank God they were found. And you know, they say the police weren't really doing anything. It was the aunties and mothers who actually went out looking and found them by tracking their phones. Now, with that all being said, last but not least, we're almost done. Let's get into 50 Cent and his Diddy documentary. He did an interview about it today. He did an interview about it with Gayle King, or was it Gayle King? I'm not sure, but it was with Good Morning America. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so we can check this out. 50 Cent is so nefarious.
Footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
You want to put the stuff in my fanny pack, King?
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, titled Sean Combs: The Reckoning.
Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching?
I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account in how he was coming off to the public.
The exclusive video also shows Combs in Harlem greeting fans.
Lord, you win, be with it. I'll accept it. I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? Oh. It's like 150 hugs.
You're a public person as well, and there was one instance in Harlem, and his reaction when those people
went away.
Got in
the car and said, I feel like I need to wash, like I'm dirt. That was it show you his character.
Was that the reason for including it?
Yeah, I mean, and what's the odds that you would do that in front of the camera? Like that's one of the moments where he forgot he was on tape.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right, for 20 years, right, is me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping, or I looked at it like it was like a tester, like maybe you'll come play with me type of thing, right? And it's not personal.
I think it's important to also let people know that the show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. We weren't trying to just get the highlights, the salacious details, you know, that the real goal was to storytell. And not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this project.
The 4-part series also features 2 jurors from Combs' trial who are speaking for the first time about how they reached their mixed verdict, finding Combs guilty of 2 prostitution offenses, but clear of racketeering and sex trafficking charges, both sharing their thoughts on the relationship between Combs and singer Cassie. Juror 75 describing them as 2 people in love, and Juror 160 saying in part, domestic violence wasn't one of the charges.
Cassie, is she a victim in all this?
I believe Cassie's a victim in all this because she came in she's like 18, like 19 years old. In the very beginning, after a while, over time, you condition for it.
The goal of what the film is trying to do is to let the audience kind of come in to ask questions like, were their decisions colored by certain things, and who got the benefit of the doubt, you know, in that courtroom?
Do you think that hip hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal. So you would look at it and just say, because that mind your business, or let me not say nothing about nothing, or those things, it would allow the entire culture to register as if they're for that behavior.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time. Because you'll see people saying that. I mean, he may feel a different way about pieces and bits of it, but he knows the truth. I think he'll see the truth in it.
Wow, that was some finish right there. Thank you, Robin, for that. Sean Combs, The Right Hand, will be streaming worldwide on Netflix.
Okay. Okay, so with that all being said, you all heard it. 50 said it wasn't personal. Of course it's personal, okay? It's even more so personal after the trial, and we all know why. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, everyone please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to double check and make sure you're still subscribed if you haven't gotten those notifications. You guys, I don't know if I'm going to be live in the morning. I'm not feeling so good. I feel like I'm coming down with something. I feel like I'm trying to come down with something, beloveds. So I might not be live in the morning. Y'all pray for the queen that I'm feeling better, okay? Love you all. Until next time, beloveds, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the